I'm Waylon Krush, founder and CEO of Lunarline. We're one of the fastest growing cybersecurity companies. I'm also a founder of the Warrior to Cyber Warrior program, as stated earlier. I've been asked to speak on cybersecurity today as it relates to Healthcare.gov, and just listen to Mr. Kennedy. I actually have some very simple points I want to make right away. First of all, if none of us here built Healthcare.gov, if we are not actively doing not a passive vulnerability assessment, but an active vulnerability assessment and doing penetrations and running that exploitable code on Healthcare.gov, we can only speculate whether or not those attacks will work. So anything that's been said thus far, if we're talking about any type of .gov or .mil site, just identifying passively a vulnerability and not actually working on the site, knowing how the protocols work in the back end, what type of defense in depth, how each one of the assets are locked down, nobody here at this table can tell you that they know that there's vulnerabilities. Another thing I would like to talk about today is in the federal government, something a little bit different than we have in the commercial organizations is we use something called the risk management framework. And this committee has actually helped develop that as part of NIST. And I will tell you that is one of the most rigorous processes as it relates to cybersecurity and privacy in the entire world. And when I say the entire world, most security standards are just a subset, security control perspective that has been taken to build other security standards, or it's basically copy, cut, pasted to create new security standards. This is a 6-step process. It includes a categorization, selection, implementation, validation, authorization, and most importantly, continuous monitoring of all the controls. Just looking at it, you might think, well, there's about 360 controls in NIST Special Publication 853, Revision 4. When you dig a little bit deeper, there's actually several thousand information security controls that our federal information systems must undergo from a security architecture perspective, including they must be continuously testing. Another point I would like to make is that if anybody here is actually went out to these websites, and I'm not talking about passive, but if you went to the website and done anything outside the bounds of what's allowed in the federal government, you're basically breaking the law. You can't just go out and say, I found this vulnerability, and then exploit it to try to get media attention or anything like that. If you do that, you're breaking the law. It's pretty simple. And last and not least, Healthcare.gov is one of many hundreds or even thousands of federal information systems out there and websites. And I've worked in the threat area. I can tell you my background is not only a soldier that was on the U.S. Army's information operations red teams, blue teams, information system security monitoring teams, protocol analysis, signals analysis, and including working in critical infrastructure protection for AT&T for a few years all across the world. If you go out and tell someone, and this is just the truth when we're out actively taking down websites, I can sit here all day and speculate about a vulnerability. But until I've actually exploited that vulnerability, there is no way to tell whether that attack will actually work. There's a lot more going on in the background that everybody needs to understand. Another note, and last but not least, about Healthcare.gov that everyone needs to understand is that with all of the media attention it's currently getting, you would think it's the most high payoff target in the entire federal government. You would think that Healthcare.gov is something that everybody would want to go after. And that's truly just not, that's media spin, if anything. Healthcare.gov is one of many websites that has personal information in it. It's connected to other systems, but saying it's interconnected directly to all these systems and that leaves them vulnerable is also shows kind of a lack of knowledge of the back-end system capabilities, meaning that those connections are very secure and they're authorized on both sides. I have actually been lucky enough to work within CMS and HHS on cybersecurity deployments and configurations. So out of everybody here, at least at this table, I probably have the most hands-on knowledge. But I can't come here and just speculate about what is actual vulnerable to the system and what is not. And the truth is, once again on the threat side, as we've seen in media, you can probably tell that Healthcare.gov is not the one getting attacked. Most cyber criminals, and especially those with advanced capabilities, they go where the money is, right? They're going to go after the targets. They're going to go after the Neiman Marcus. They're going to go after these places that contain lots of data related to intellectual property, because it just makes fiscal sense, right? If the U.S. government spends billions of dollars on our research and development and we don't protect it, and some other country takes that, you just save them billions of dollars. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Krush. Mr. Gregg.
Thank you.